And now, Death Valley Days. Howdy, folks. I'm the Old Ranger, and I have another interesting true story for you about the historic Death Valley country. History has made legends out of many men in the Old West, but Indian Scout Jim Bridger, or Old Gabe as he was affectionately called, was one legend who made history. In deep respect to a great man, I call this story Old Gabe. After 6 months of scouting and trailblazing for the Army, Old Gabe is heading home to his farm where a wife and son and a child he has not yet seen are waiting.
Wow, grown like a large pole pine.
So you've come home?
Ain't you kind of surprised to see your pa?
Yes. Yes, I am.
You kept the place up fine, boy. Sure feels good to get home.
Home? What do you know about home?
What's eating you, boy? Maybe you better take me to your ma. I'm right anxious to see her.
I'll take you to her. It's this way.
You know, boy, I rode nearly 1,000 miles to get here, and all the time I was thinking how fine it'd be to be with you and your ma again. How is she?
You'll see.
What? Oh, no!
That's Ma. That's her baby.
Oh.
There they are, where you put them.
Oh, you don't know what you're saying, boy. I weren't anywhere around.
That's what I mean. You weren't around when she needed you. She died giving birth. Her heart broke. While you were out adventuring and fighting Indians. She died calling for you.
I'm sorry, boy. More sorry than I can tell you.
I won't bring her back. I see you're going away again.
What are you talking about, boy?
You're leaving just like you always done before. We're gonna lose this farm. It's like we lost the one at Willow 3 years ago.
We ain't losing this farm.
You didn't answer my question. You leaving or you staying?
I'm staying here.
I wish I could believe that.
Jim Bridger never breaks his word. You ask any Injun, he'll tell you that. Right now I'm going into town to pay Grove some money on the mortgage.
Bridger, you know how much is here?
Sure do. $300.
Exactly. And you owe me $700 on the mortgage. That was due 2 months ago.
Why, I had no idea that...
You haven't much of a head for business, have you?
I reckon not. Does my boy know about this?
It's your place to tell him, Bridger, not mine. That boy has his heart set on that farm. He worked it hard while you were away traipsing around. I didn't see fit to add to his worries.
Losing the farm would go pretty hard on that boy.
Just what are your chances of paying that balance in a reasonable time?
Reminds me of one time I was once surrounded by 100 Sioux. I had 2 arrows in my shoulder, and my rifle was busted in bits.
What happened?
I was killed, but here I am.
Bridger, I'll give you just 1 more month at the usual rate of interest, not 1 day more. Now let's see if you can get yourself out of this trap.
It'll be hard, but this here child is going under trying. Thanks.
How long you been having these spells, Jim?
Off and on, a couple of months.
Well, you're going to keep on having them. They'll come and go, but they're going to get worse all the time.
What is it, Doc?
You've got a condition of the eyes caused by increased fluid tension inside the eyeballs. We call it glaucoma.
What does that mean in American? Am I going blind?
I'm afraid you've ridden the trail for the last time, Jim. No more staring into the hot western sun. No more shooting at impossible targets 200 yards away. You can't depend on your eyesight to save you from those Indians anymore, Jim.
I reckon it's a good thing I got my farm.
You got more than that, Jim.
Yeah?
You've had your share of sadness, but you've got a fine, upstanding boy in Felix.
Yeah. I reckon I have.
I sure wish there was something I could do to help you.
There is, Doc. If you happen to run into the boy, keep a tight tongue.
Pa?
Yeah, son?
You really mean to stay here?
Now, wouldn't a man be a fool to hanker for the hard ground when he's got a nice, soft, warm feather bed to sleep in and good home-cooked meals instead of cold buffalo jerky?
No danger of you losing your scalp here either.
Not unless they get careless and walk into that barber shop in Hamilton.
You know, I was just down the South Field. We're going to have the best darn crop alfalfa in this whole county.
That's fine, boy.
Fine? You realize what that means? This farm's going to be on a paying basis another 3 or 4 months.
3 or 4 months, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of hard work, but well, between the 2 of us, we can do it.
Yeah, we can do it.
Here, I'll get it.
Just a minute. Colonel Harrington. Well, I ain't seen you since I left Fort Laramie nigh under 3 months ago.
How are you, Gabe?
Why, come in, come in. Right in time for supper.
Oh, I'm sorry, Gabe. I can't stay.
Well, sit down. Have a cup of coffee.
Thank you.
Oh, this frying chicken on a stove. Darned if it ain't easier to cook a whole buffalo. Tell me, what brings you way out to this country?
Well, as a matter of fact, Gabe, I was just passing through Hamilton. Thought I'd drop by and say hello.
Well, I sure am right pleased to have you.
Well, a man doesn't forget 10 years of close friendship.
I reckon not.
It's a right nice place you got here. Can't say as I blame you for wanting to be home. Where's your family?
It's just me and Felix now. My woman and the little one went under in birth.
Well, sorry to hear that.
How's the Indian situation?
It's not good.
No?
Not good at all. Gabe, you know the importance of keeping the Oregon Trail open. The entire future of this country depends on it. It's got to be made safe for immigrant and military travel.
You been having Indian trouble?
Well, you were all right as long as the Crows had control of the hills around Clark's Fork. But the Sioux moved in and pushed them clear back to the Platte under Chief Yellow Wolf.
That means the Oregon Trail runs through hostile Sioux country now.
Exactly.
Are you aiming to fight Chief Yellow Wolf?
Well, not unless we're forced to. We'd like to make a treaty with him. As a matter of fact, Gabe, I was just on my way to St. Louis to pick up an old friend of yours, Fred Beachy.
Fred Beachy? What for?
Well, who else is there that's even got a chance to deal with Yellow Wolf now that you quit me?
You hired him yet?
No, but I know I can get him.
What does the job pay?
Well, let's see. It'll take a month and a half, 2 months maybe.
$10 a day, that's $500 to $600.
Just about.
Yellow Wolf is tough. He's as tough as they come. Why, there's only one white man in the whole country he'd even talk to, and that's me.
I was hoping you'd say that. You'll take the job then.
I've got to, Hank.
You've got to.
That's the truth. I'm going to lose this farm if I don't get $400 pronto.
Well, whatever your reasons are, Gabe, I'll be glad to have you with me. Now, you'll pick up your military escort and your trade goods at Fort Laramie. The sooner you get started, the better.
I'll take off the first thing in the morning.
Good.
Felix!
Jim Brisher. The man who never breaks his word to an Indian, only to his son.
You gotta let me explain.
I don't want to hear anything. I've heard it all, over and over. Just one more trip. The last one. Well, go on. As far as I'm concerned, you don't ever have to come back.
We'll follow the old trail through Bad Medicine Pass, then head up over the notch, crossing the Platte just above the forks. Where's Yellow Wolf's new village?
Clark's Fork, on Bend of River.
Any lodges?
Many lodges, and many braves.
I understand you've had a lot of dealings with Yellow Wolf. You expect trouble?
Well, I've traded with him, beat him at his own game with bow and arrow, and fought him. But as for trouble, well, only Yellow Wolf can answer that.
There's the call, gentlemen. One last word. There's no need to point out the importance and gravity of this mission. It's all on your shoulders, Gabe. Now, you've got all the trade goods you need. The big thing is your judgment and ability. I'm depending on it.
I'll do my best.
I know you will. Good luck, Gabe. And I trust we'll be seeing each other again soon.
I hope so.
Good day, gentlemen.
Felix, come here a minute.
Hello, Mr. Groves.
Come on in, I want to talk to you.
Mr. Groves, if it's about the money, I'm afraid I haven't got any for you.
Well, now, that's just too bad. But I have something for you.
What's that?
The deed to the farm, it's all free and paid for now.
But I didn't pay you any money.
I got a letter from a man named Colonel Carrington with a check in it. He said it was an advance on your pa's pay.
Pa's pay covered the mortgage?
That was the only reason he took off again.
Thank you, Mr. Groves.
Why, hello, Felix. Haven't seen you for some time.
No, I suppose not.
Tell your father next time he's in town to come in and see me.
Where have you been, Doc? Bridger's away.
Away?
Yes, there was some Indian trouble, and he went to straighten it out. Is there anything wrong?
I'm afraid there is. Plenty. By going out there on that trail is just like suicide for your father.
Is there anything the matter with him?
I promised your father I wouldn't tell you this, but I think you ought to know it now. Felix, your father's going blind.
Blind?
That's right. Could happen any time. Maybe even now.
To these old ears?
Felix Bridger reporting for duty, sir.
That's fine, boy. Oh, it sure is good to see you. Real good.
How do you feel?
Oh, finer than a wildcat full of loco berries. But what brought you way out here?
I got lonesome for you.
Lonesome for me? Well, that's really more than I expected.
I took off for Fort Laramie, and Colonel Carrington gave me a job. The colonel said that I was a ornery, no-account, shiftless varmint and didn't deserve a father like you.
Ah, he had no call to say that. It's supposed to be a military secret. But, how'd you ever find me way up here?
Captain Danvers said that you were out ahead scouting, and I just followed your trail.
Darned if you ain't a Bridger through and through.
Pa, I wouldn't blame you if you never gave me the time of day.
Forget it, boy. I need you. I need you more than I can ever tell you.
How far away from Sioux country?
We're in it.
There's nothing moving. Not a sign of life.
When a pass is this quiet, it just ain't natural. I don't see or hear any birds, do you?
No.
What is it, Jim?
The hills are full of Sioux.
I'll be darned. I don't see a thing.
Well, when you're in Indian country, you gotta use all your senses. You gotta hear and smell and feel along with your seeing. Your life may hang on it.
They let us through?
Well, we got this far. Just don't let your men touch their weapons. On no account.
Ah,
Yeah?
smoke signals. 3 of them.
I'm learning my boy to scout. Felix, do you see any difference in those smoke columns?
Yeah, there's one large one, and the 2 on each side are smaller.
Good.
What does it mean?
Yellow Wolf knows we're here. And he knows we come for peaceful talk. We can go through now.
I don't like it. They're all armed.
So are we. That's easy fixed. Better give the order.
Detail! Disarm!
The white men show good face. I smoke only with 3. Go.
He's sending 3 men over.
He's letting us know who's boss. Well, that means he'll only powwow with 3 of us.
You pick 'em, Jim.
Well, I want you, the boy, and myself. Let's go. We come in peace. We want great medicine roads safe for our soldiers and settlers. We have brought many presents.
White man's presents are good. His promises always broken.
I speak with straight tongue.
When you were strong blanket chief, my people trusted you.
Jim Bridges' word is still good. He speaks for the great white father in Washington.
I only talk to the big chief. Show my people you're still worthy to talk peace. Show me you're still strong blanket chief. Only then we smoke the pipe of peace.
You know I'm strong, Yellow Wolf. I've proved that to you more than once. There's nothing you can do I can't do.
That was many moons ago. Prove it now. Will it be bow or knife?
Knife.
Ah, you spoke too eager. We will make it bow. One arrow. In small tree.
Wait! You want to prove who's the better man. This is boys' play. Much too easy for the great blanket chief.
The cub growls like a bear.
I still say this is a game for boys and Indians.
What does the cub suggest? Hoop and pole?
My father will put an arrow in that tree blindfolded. Here, Paul.
I just can't do it, boy. You loco? I can't see the tree.
No, you can't. That's why I'm here. But you can hear my voice. Just follow my voice. And I'm going to stand behind that tree. If my father misses so much as the length of a twig, I'll be killed.
I can't do it.
You've got to, Pa. We can't back out now. Just shoot at my voice. I'll keep talking. All right, Pa. I'm standing right behind the tree. Now you can hear where I am. Just follow my voice. Remember what they used to say about you. You got the eyes of a lynx and the ears of a deer. Prove to Yellow Wolf that even blindfolded you're better than he is. All right, Pa. Just follow my voice. All right, whenever you're ready, let her fly.
You're a brave man. So is your cub. I'm proud to be your friend. Come, we feast. Then we smoke a pipe of peace.
Come, son.
Of all the colorful and exciting tales about old Gabe, none is as strange as this one, which closed his fabulous career. Ranger with an exciting new story of real life in the Old West. The easy road to popularity is to tell people what they want to hear. But what happens when a conscientious man knows that the popular thing is the wrong thing? When he realized California must surrender to the Americans, this was the problem faced by Don Augustine Olvera.
Governor Pico, what shall we do?
Senores, let's face this problem squarely. Is there a solution? What do you think, Olvera?
Your Excellency, our position is hopeless. We're overwhelmed by sheer weight of numbers. Kearny's army threatens us from the south and the east. Commodore Stockton's fleet blockades San Pedro. His Marines can force a landing at any time.
Don't be too pessimistic, Olvera. We drove the last landing back into the water.
With due respect, Governor Pico, he has since been reinforced by the Savannah, a 54-gun ship of the line. Facing it, we have 2 cannon, both 100 years old. Fremont's Bear Flag Army advances from the north. They're now camped at San Fernando. North, south, east, west. And here we are. Fish in a net.
Those are American helmets, senores. We have won a victory.
Compañeros, this is a great day for California. We have learned to fight the American. We won a fine victory at San Pascual, and it's only the beginning. Soon, my friends, will drive these gringos back across the desert.
Juan! Juan!
Dolores! Dolores, querida.
Oh.
Dolores, we ran them off the field. Professional soldiers, and still we beat them.
Are you hurt? Any wounds?
Oh, see, I brought back a souvenir. A gringo jacket.
Oh, Juan, it had blood on it.
Naturally, do you think he gave it to me? Please, my friends, not now. We must report to the governor. Maybe this will put courage in the old man, huh? Come de Toro.
Victory, Your Excellency, at San Pascual. I brought you dispatches from your brother.
I'm glad you're safe, Juan. The lieutenant is about to marry my daughter.
Congratulations, Lieutenant. You join a fine family. Excuse me. Andres never gives details. Come on, tell us about the battle.
The Americans were camped in a village. General Pico hit our main body in a ravine a mile from their lines. We advanced and challenged them with 50 men. These dragoons, these professionals. They formed a line of battle and charged. We deliberately turned and ran. We threw down our sombreros, our capes, even some lances. Hey! I kept shouting, "Oh, please, save me from these terrible gringos!" In their eagerness to capture us, they broke formation. We stayed just out of reach and led them by our main body. Then, General Pico hit them on the flank. We wheeled and struck the center. They broke and fled. If it weren't for their artillery, we would have wiped them out. One cannot fight cannon with lances.
You don't show much enthusiasm, Senor Olvera.
Captain, a notable feat of arms. But, senores, a pinprick in the hide of a giant, nothing more.
We proved we could meet that cavalry. Now, if we had just guns enough to match their artillery...
You'd win, I believe that. But we don't have the guns. Or much else.
We have been discussing the whole course of the war. Senores, you may listen if you like. Go on, Don Agustin.
This victory means we can lay down our arms with honor. But lay them down we must.
Senors, we bring you victory. You talk of surrender?
Captain, please.
But, Your Excellency, surrender an army still able to fight. It's cowardly.
Still able to fight, Captain, but not to win. This is necessity, not free choice. Suppose we did fight on. Suppose by some miracle and by the certain sacrifice of our best young men, we were able to check the enemy here in California. Have we gained anything? No. Here in Mexico, this is where the war will be won or lost, and it is being hopelessly lost. Veracruz has fallen. General Santa Anna was beaten at Buena Vista. American troops march on Mexico City. Senores, we Californians continued to fight against overwhelming odds, hoping to pin down American troops. We succeeded, but our actions can no longer affect the course of the war. We can do nothing here but die. By surrendering now, we gain the most favorable terms and save the lives of our young men.
Save your concern. You asked us to quit when we seen the backs of the enemy. We're soldiers. Good ones. Your faith in us is too weak.
On the contrary, our regard for you is greater than your own.
Words, sir. Words. If you supplied more cannon and less words, it would be the gringos who begged for peace. We refuse to surrender.
Enough. Be content with the honor you have won, Captain. Don't force me to deal with you as a rebel. Any more opinions, senores?
Senor Olvera has said it all.
Very well. Meet with Colonel Fremont and arrange for the surrender of California.
Caballeros, in time you...
Captain Rocha!
Hey! Read that?
Follow me, gentlemen.
Gentlemen, I'm Colonel Fremont. Which of you will speak for Governor Pico?
I will. Don Agustin Olvera.
Judge Olvera?
May I present General Andres Pico, military commandant, and Squadron Commander Jose Carrillo.
The terms of the treaty are simple. Disband military forces. Surrender such artillery as you have. Your lives and property will be secure. Your religion will be respected. Everyone will have equal rights under equal law.
The terms are very generous.
We want them to be. I've been instructed to preserve the friendliest relationships with the Californians. You sign, gentlemen? Thank you, gentlemen. For one moment. Judge Olvera, I speak also for Kearney and Stockton. We don't want to rule by martial law, but we can't establish civil government without men of your caliber. Would you consider serving us in your present capacity?
I might do you more harm than good. I strongly urge the surrender so the appointment might be misunderstood.
By whom? Anyone with an ounce of sense knows you were beat.
No one likes to surrender, Colonel. Even when it's necessary, no one wants to face it.
You don't have to give your answer now. Think it over. For obvious reasons, we could use a link with the past. You with the civil law. There'll be no one to take over if you don't.
So, it's now Don Pio Pico, private citizen. Not even Don, Mr. Pio Pico.
You can still be Judge Olvera.
How? You know what the people would think?
Let me give you my experience as governor. Don't worry about what people think. Most of them don't. They only feel. Besides, whether they love you or hate you, they need you. We all need friends in the new government.
Suppose the appointment causes trouble.
If there's trouble, Olvera, you will not be the cause, only the excuse.
Can't be. Quiet! Quiet! Freeman has appointed a new civil judge, Augustine Alvera. Alvera said he wanted to save our lives. He wanted to save his job. Are we going to be bound by a traitors' treaty?
No.
I say, show these gringos we're men. Make them respect us.
See.
That'll do us more good in the future than any surrender. Come, De Toro.
Dolores, may I come in?
No.
Please, Dolores. What happened?
Nothing.
Oh? You are crying on general principles?
Did we have to surrender, Papa?
My dear, listen to me and try to understand. Wars are fought. One side wins, the other loses. Then it is over. Sometimes it is good to die in a lost cause, but one must use judgment about when to live and when to die. Mexico cannot win. She can only suffer and bleed. But more important, we couldn't help her anymore. Now, do you understand?
I do, Papa. But no one else does.
Collins! Smith!
Were taken from the bodies of two of my men. They're not vaquero lances. They're Mexican cavalry.
And just what do you want from me?
You're the civil authority. I expect you to stop them.
I'm not exactly their favorite advisor, Colonel.
Yes, but one way or the other, they're going to stop. If they want more war, I'll give it to them.
Papa?
Dolores, where can I find Juan?
I haven't seen him since he went hunting.
Hunting what? American dragoons? I didn't ask you if you'd seen him, though I know you have. I asked you if you knew where he was.
He wouldn't want me to tell you, Papa.
You don't have to. Go to him and arrange a meeting. I must talk to him in Rocha. Will you do that?
I'll try.
Dolores.
Buenas noches, señorita.
Dolores, how I've missed you. But you should not have come here.
Papa sent me.
Here? Why?
He wants to talk to you and Captain Rocha.
Has he seen the American colonel recently?
Yes.
Then I know what he wants to say. Talk would not change anything.
He wants it so bad.
Dolores, you know what they tell us in church about forsaking all others. Your father and I may never speak again, but as my wife, you must side with me.
But he's not always wrong.
True. But we cannot live in a house divided. If you think your father is right, go back to him. But do not try to convert me.
Don't make me choose.
Times have made us all choose.
I regret to say it, Olvera, but your position is extremely awkward. Many Californians think that you sold them out, that you expected to... But now, with the rumor that your daughter has joined the insurgents, the Americans don't trust you either.
What the Americans think does not concern me. I've lost contact with our people. Their sympathies are with the caballeros.
Yes, they're even taking pride in them.
He means Rocha's a hero.
And why not? His men ride and fight well. Who knows, senores? Perhaps if we were younger ourselves.
Will be tried as prisoners of war.
But there isn't any war. You signed the peace treaty yourself. They'll be tried as bandits and hanged. Do you know how my men feel about this? I only kept the prisoners alive to make an example.
I understand your problem, Colonel, but...
Olvera, between us, I admit, maybe Rocha thought he was right. But as military commandant, I don't care what a man thinks if he kills my men.
I had to face the problem of what people think. So can you. Don't ignore the passions of my people and pamper those of your own. These men are heroes. Fools too, perhaps, but do not call them bandits. They are soldiers, and I will try them as such.
If you don't hang them, I will.
Then I warn you, Colonel. I'll resign. This could cause an uprising.
An uprising? Over you? You're not exactly the best-loved man in Los Angeles.
No, not over me. Over a principle. It will prove that we have no protection under the law. That only those who obey you can stay in office.
All right. You think what you like. But you remember, if there is an uprising, I have the power to suppress it.
Then you'll have to use it. Let the war start again. Slaughter each other. But when I come into court tomorrow, I'll carry my resignation in my pocket. And if you take those prisoners from me, I'm not only through, I'll join the irregulars myself.
Captain, I will platoon a man at the courthouse tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
May I come in?
Oh? Suddenly you start asking my permission again?
Oh, Papa. Oh, Papa. Papa, don't let them hang him, please. Don't let them hang him.
I doubt that I can stop it.
Then, can we be married first?
Now you care what I want?
I always have, Papa. Only
you thought I wouldn't understand because I'm old. Dolores, I wasn't born old. You have my blessing.
Oh, ahí viene.
His Honor, Don Agustin Oliveira, Judge of the First Instance. Everybody rise. Be seated. Prisoners, approach the bench.
Ricardo Rocha, Juan de Toro.
Murderers.
Prisoners of war who have violated the peace treaty. Have you any defense? Apparently you felt dishonored by surrender. Tell me, senores, is honor satisfied now that you've shed more blood? Are the caballeros killed in your raid now reveling somewhere in their glory? Or are they just dead? Stupidly dead? The children of these men cannot eat this glory of their fathers. They make the real sacrifice. It is left to cowards like us to remember our duty and fill their little bellies. Have you no wisdom, no knowledge, no understanding at all? Can't you see the emptiness of these gestures? Since there is no defense, I sentence you to 5 years in prison.
Come on.
Get back in line! You heard me! Get back there! I know the verdict you wanted. I wanted it myself, but we didn't get it. And we're not going to pay the price to get it. They were fools for honor. We won't be fools for revenge. At considerable cost to himself, Judge Alvaro has been for the cause of California-American friendship. As a symbol of that friendship, he's too valuable to lose. We'll abide by his decision.
A few months later, Mexico suffered defeat, as Alvera predicted. A general amnesty was declared. All the prisoners of war were released, permitting Dolores Alvera to be reunited with her bridegroom. After California became a state, Don Augustin Alvera was elected the first judge of Los Angeles. Old Ranger with an exciting new story of real life in the Old West. You've all heard that power corrupts. Just after the war between the states, a powerful new weapon, the Henry repeating rifle, began to make its appearance among the U.S. forces on the frontier, guiding the pioneers across the country in covered wagons such as this. At first, the Henry repeating rifle was in short supply and could be given to only one man in 100. Our story is about how this new power almost destroyed one of these men, who was 1 in 100.
Supply wagons in, boys! Come and get it!
Hey!
Well, here it is, boys. The new Henry repeater. Only 1 man in 100 gets them.
Real pretty. Let's see it.
Yes, sirree, boys. It's the last word. You load her on Monday and she fires till Thursday.
All right, soldier, let's have it.
I'll take it, Quartermaster.
Yes, sir.
Who gets the gun, Lieutenant? You?
Commandant's orders are, till they can supply everyone with them, it'll be assigned to the man who can handle it best.
Guess that lets you out, sonny boy. Except the best man.
We'll see.
That's an amazing performance. All right, man, that finishes it.
I only fired 14 shots, sir. I have one left.
Well, go ahead. Well, I guess there's no doubt who gets the rifle. They can't beat a score like that.
You must have cheated somehow. But you did it. You're 1 in 100.
I'm Sam Dance. Got a wagon about 20 miles northeast of here, heading for California. A couple of women and a little girl aboard. We could use some military escort.
Only one wagon?
Oh, we branched off from a big train. Been going it alone since Cimarron Crossing. But the Indians in this stretch of country don't look none too friendly to us.
We have a peace treaty with them. How long it'll last, nobody knows.
Well, if you could give us an escort, the women would feel a whole lot safer.
We're very short man right now, Mr. Brooks, Billings, give Mr. Dorrance a military escort as far as Fort Union. I think you can probably pick up another escort at Union.
Thank you, Colonel, but just the two of them?
Your wagon, sir, will be one of the first in the West to be protected by the new Henry rifle. A rifle that makes that man practically a whole troop.
Here they are. It's all they could spare at the fort.
Troopers Billings and Brooks.
My name's Gaines. This is my wife, Hannah.
Ma'am? Oh, and this is my daughter, Mrs. Mary Merwin.
And my daughter, Della.
How do you do? Of course, they only look like 2 soldiers. But this fella's really 15, on account of a special fancy gun he's got. Right, soldier?
We'll manage. Don't let it throw you. You've still got only one head.
He's got the firepower of 15 men. With his patent pop gun, sure. I'd like to see 'em split into 3 scouting parties of 5 men each.
So do I.
It's been a long, hot day, honey. Why don't you get a little sleep?
I can't sleep.
I know. Lucas and me, we couldn't sleep for thinking of our boy. Even 2 years after we'd lost him.
Maybe it'll be easier in California.
Being there with your husband's folks ought to help. A little like having him with you again.
I hope I'm not intruding.
I was just going, Mr. Brooks. Good night, Mary. Night, Mr. Brooks.
Good night, Mrs. Gaines. That coyote seems to bother you somewhat.
It's just that it's such a lonesome sound.
I wouldn't worry much about it.
You keep stroking that gun like it was something alive, like something you loved.
Well, it gives a man a strong feeling. It's good. Now that coyote's more afraid of you than you are of him. He won't come near us as long as that fire's going.
What was it? What happened? What'd you see?
Coyote.
A coyote? You actually mean to say you went after a coyote? Nothing but a coyote, honey.
All that shooting in the raw for a moony dog?
Mr. Brooks was just showing me we got nothing to be afraid of.
I didn't mean to scare everybody. Anyhow, you all know now the new gun really works.
Could you prove that during the day?
No coyotes.
Yeah. Come on, Hannah.
Better go to bed, Mary.
Good night, Mr. Billings. Mr. Brooks.
You don't hear any coyotes now, do you?
For Pete's sake, Larry.
Get back to sleep.
Look, this thing ain't no toy. Don't get carried away by it.
I'm in charge here.
Yes, sir. Nothing to worry about, folks. Young Pima Brave's out hunting us all. Larry! No! No! You wobble-headed idiot. They weren't making any trouble.
They were Indians, weren't they?
They were Indians keeping the peace. You broke it. The fat's in the fire now.
Well, this'll put it out.
Leave it to you to start another.
Watch it, Billings.
You watch it. You're the one who's causing all the trouble.
Shut up. I told you before, I'm in charge here.
You were that gun.
Hot soup.
Thanks. Mary? There's no danger.
I was just thinking about that young man you shot.
I thought they were attacking the wagon. Suppose they'd been hostile. Suppose they'd hurt you. Adela.
Suppose you'd given him the benefit of the doubt just a few seconds more. But no, the gun wouldn't wait. Coyotes aren't big enough game.
Mary.
Well, you're the man with the gun, and that's what guns are for, to kill. I'm a widow whose husband was killed in battle. And I can't be as calm about it as you, Mr. Brooks.
Convince him? Della, get some water. It's pretty bad.
Well, can't we go back? He's got to have a doctor.
It's just as far back as it is ahead, and just as rough. We gotta keep going.
Mr. Larry! Mama!
Looks like those Indians didn't leave us very much, doesn't it?
Now, we got sarsaparilla, cider, and lukewarm water.
Lukewarm water, please. Thank you.
Yeah, just kind of nurse it along, honey. Sip it. It'll last longer that way.
How bad is it, Mr. Gaines?
Well, if it don't get any worse, well... Now, Brooks out there went scouting for fresh water a little while ago. Didn't find nothing. For Billings?
His fever's running high. I'll go out again at our next stop.
More.
It's so hot. Let's go home. Please. Please, Mama. I'm so thirsty. I wish it rained.
Mary?
Yes, Pa.
Are you all right?
Yes, Pa, I'm all right.
That's my girl.
You shouldn't do that. You have to keep up your strength, too. Please. Give it to Billings.
That won't do no good. They're all loose. All wheels liable to cave in any minute now.
You mean we're stuck?
I mean just that. Got to have water for them wheels. Any kind of water. We can't move out of this spot. We're done for. Well, Sam and I'll have a look around. You stand watch.
I'll go along with you.
I said you stay here. With the women.
I wish you'd say something.
Talking makes you drier.
I know the others hate me for what I did. But don't you feel that way, Mary, please.
I'm past feeling anything but thirst.
You can have my ration.
Go away. Go away, please. Leave me alone. Just leave me alone.
What happened to the other horse?
He killed himself with water, poor devil.
What?
Oh, we found water, all right. A whole spring of it. Alkali water. Poison.
Headed right for the water, started drinking before we could stop him. It was horrible.
All I could do, not to fall on my belly and soak up whole gallons of the rotten stuff.
Did I hear you say water?
Alkali.
Water?
It is water, and there's plenty of it.
Less than a mile from here, due west.
Water, darling. They found water. I heard him say so. Mama's gonna get you some, so her baby won't be thirsty anymore. Even one drop.
Don't you dare. Yeah, that's better. This way we'll be able to make the water hole and soak all the wheels.
How far is it?
You see that dark patch of mesquite?
She can't hear you.
She's heading right for that water.
She must be out of her mind.
Mary! No use. You couldn't reach her in time.
Isn't there any way to stop her?
Yes. This gun of yours. It's the only thing on earth that can do it now. You got to keep her from reaching that poison water. Just wing her. Just enough to stop her.
I can't.
You got no choice, son. You're the one that can do the shooting. And you got the rifle.
I might kill her. You better not.
It's up to you, son. Nobody else. You've got to do it.
I'll bring her in. She's alive, thank God. Get us some water.
There's not a drop left.
Come to ask why you attack our brothers in the East. Pimas are not at war with a white man. Why do you break this treaty? Why do you shoot?
I'm the one who did it. Me, no one else. I did wrong. Punish me, but don't punish these people. They had nothing to do with it. Do you understand? It's my fault these folks are dying of thirst. Take us to where there's water. And you can do whatever you like with me.
Vengeance only call for more vengeance. We come in peace. You are a very brave man. We take you to water.
Here it is, one of the original Henry rifles that went on to become the famous Winchester rifle. Now, properly used, it has served this country well. And to this day, the Winchester rimfire ammunition has the letter H on it, in tribute to this great Henry rifle and the man who invented it. Howdy, folks. I'm the Old Ranger with an exciting new story of real life in the Old West. In 1890, a gold strike exploded the silence of California's dry desert canyons. Now, gold hunters stampeded to the diggings in spring wagons, buckboards, anything on wheels. Among them was an immigrant from Europe, Charlie Coan, who cut across the trackless wastelands on an ordinary bicycle. Now, some people call this intrepid cyclist Dutch Charlie. Others refer to him as Bismarck of the desert. He and his bicycle were inseparable, even after he converted it into an armed fortress, a primitive juggernaut of war, a one-man tank.
Be careful, Johanna. Don't scare the man's horse. She don't know she's a bicycle. Leo! Here I am.
I know you're here. I could smell you even before I heard you. Now, there's a tub and water in the back.
Soap. Who needs soap? When you see what I found, we can take baths in cologne.
You know, the last time I grub-staked you, you said we were going to be swimming in gold.
Gold? Who needs gold? I got something better.
Oh? This is better than gold?
Well, it's just as good. It'll make you and me a bundle.
But rock salt. Charlie, I have got 5 sacks full of better and purer salt than that right here.
Sure, you got it. But from where? From a wholesaler who charges you big profits. I found a whole mine of this stuff. The wholesaler will buy it from us, and we make the profits.
Oh, don't be a hard-headed Dutchman. Look, finding a salt mine's one thing, running it's another. First, you got to dig the salt out. Then you got to find a market for it. Then you got to find a way to get it to the market.
Stop mixing me up with all your goddess. I got salt, a whole dry lake of it, ready to dig up.
How come you stopped chasing after gold? You can get rich quicker digging it up.
Salt in the hand is worth more than dreams in your head. You ought to see that dry lake. Miles and miles of salt. I dug up some already. And I built a house and a supply shack on it. Leo, we're gonna get rich.
I don't know, Charlie. Now, you're into me for quite a lot of supplies already. Now, not that I'm complaining, but I'd just rather see you settle down to a regular business like this. You know, towns around here are growing.
Me, a storekeeper?
Well, why not? I could help you get started. Now, take Randsburg, for instance. It's booming.
You're not talking to Dutch Charlie Coan when you talk about inside work. I had enough of that in the old country. Fixing bicycles, smelling oil, getting dirt in my lungs.
All right. Now, I will grubstake you one more time. Flour, tools, some dynamite.
And a horse and wagon.
Well, don't tell me that Johanna's finally got the best of you.
Oh, I'm gonna be riding the bicycle, all right. I'm talking about a freight wagon. Big enough to hold salt from the mine to the biggest salt companies in Bakersfield, Fresno, and maybe even to San Francisco.
I don't know, Charlie. That's a pretty big investment.
Here, I'll show you something on this map.
No, don't show me. You might talk me into giving you 2 wagons.
That'll come later, when the money comes in. I'll go wash up.
Oh, Dutch, I almost forgot. A letter came for you about a month ago.
Letter?
Yeah, there you are. Bad news, Dutch?
For years, I was trying to find gold to send for my wife and children to come to America, to this place. Now, if I was covered with gold, she'll never be with me. She's dead.
That's it. I didn't even know you were married.
My wife Hilda, my son and my daughter, Peter and Anna. They was that high when I left the old country.
That's all the more reason why I think you ought to try to get a steady job.
Steady job. It'll take 100 years to save and send for them. Besides, this letter, it's from my wife's uncle, a poor man. He can't keep Peter and Anna. He wants to know why I don't send for them. I'm here where plenty of gold is.
And so, Dutch. Don't forget, salt can be as good as gold.
You keep a place in that safe for the money you're gonna hold for me. When I have enough, I'll send for Peter and Anna.
That's about it.
Well, Leo, every time I sell a load of salt, I'll send you the money.
You don't have to. Make an accounting next time you come in for supplies.
Goodbye, partner.
Good luck.
I'm sending some money to you to buy tickets on a boat to send Anna and Peter to America. I would send more, but I have a partner, a fine man, who does much for me. In the morning, I take another load of salt to sell to a very big company in Bakersfield. Thank you for everything.
Tell me about it again. Ah, here we are.
Get the purchase records you asked for, Mr. Shannon. Dutch Charlie sold us 3 loads of salt so far. Something wrong?
Something wrong? The only thing wrong is that he's bringing us better salt than we're getting from company-owned properties.
Oh, I don't think Great West has to worry about old Charlie turning into a competitor.
No, but just the same, he's making me look bad. I got a letter from our San Francisco office, from Mr. Bellingham himself, wanting to know why we can't dig up as good a quality salt from our own properties. Wherever you see a pin is where we're operating. And an old desert rat finds top-grade salt right under our noses.
Last time he was in, he said he found a dry salt lake. Big enough for him to work 100 years.
A dry lake? Yeah, that ought to be worth checking on. Knowing Dutch Charlie as I do, he probably just stumbled across it and started digging up salt without bothering to file a legal claim.
You can bank on that.
But what I want to know is where it is. If I could make a deal to take it over, Mr. Bellingham would be mighty pleased.
Hello, Hello, partner.
Hello, Dutch. I'll be right with you. I'll put it on the account, Bert.
Looks like we're getting more prosperous every day.
She's a relative. I'd have to support her anyway.
So, with all the money coming in from the sold, it'll pay her wages. Here's your half, Leo.
Where's yours?
On its way to Holland. I've sent for Peter and Anna. I divided it even.
Dutch, you've been working that salt mine for better than 4 months.
4 months, 2 weeks, and 1 day.
And twice this is all we have to show for it.
That's right, 50-50.
That's just not enough for 2 people.
Every business is slow when it starts out.
Well, you hang on to the money. We'll figure out the accounting later.
You're pulling out?
Well, I'm a merchant. What do I know about salt mining? You'd be better off if you had a steady job. Look, there's a lot of bicycles in San Francisco that need fixing. You're an expert.
I ain't gonna quit for all the bicycles in the world.
It'll be cheaper for me in the long run than to continue letting you have supplies.
Now, this is your share for the salt, whether you want it or not.
Dutch! I never could say no to you. Why should I start now? Especially since you're a family man. What do you need?
You had me scared for a while. I don't know anybody else who would crop stake me.
Now, I want to make one thing clear. I'm going to give you credit for 3 months and then make it or break it, not 1 day more.
Oh, by that time I'll be a cash customer.
I hope so. I hope you're getting a good price for that salt.
Oh, pretty good. Last time when I was in Bakersfield, Mike Shannon promised to be better if I bring him bigger loads.
You mean Mike Shannon, that sharpshooter?
Now, why do you say that? He's a nice fellow. He asked me up to his house and we had dinner together.
Dutch, Mike Shannon wouldn't give his own grandmother dinner unless he wanted to get something out of her.
Do I look like his grandmother? Now, what would he want from me?
I don't know. But he's always shooting angles. Mike, have you filed a claim on that dry lake?
Claim? I've been working that land for years. Besides, I didn't think you have to file on salt.
Maybe you don't. I'll check into it. Look, you come back later and I'll fix you up with the supplies.
Yeah, sure. You betcha.
Sophie, bring me my hat and coat. Keep your eye on the store. I'm going to run down to the land office.
Maybe we ought to go look around for Charlie, Sheriff.
No use knocking ourselves out, Mr. Shannon. Especially in all this heat.
Well, company. This is a big surprise. Come inside. Out of the sun, I'll fix you a little lunch.
This isn't a social call, Charlie. Serve him.
I don't understand. What does this mean?
This means you're being evicted. This property you've been working doesn't belong to you.
Well, that's a mistake. That's my house. I built it myself. And that's my mine. I work it now for a long time. I sell the salt to Mr. Shannon.
Yes, well, you'd never have sold it to me if I knew it was coming off of this property. Our company filed on it a long time ago. So, if you'll just get your things together and clear out, huh?
You clear out! This is my land. Nobody's gonna take it away from me. I shoot first.
Hold on now. This is the law you're talking to.
In 1 minute, if you're not off this land, my gun will be talking to you.
Charlie, I'm coming back here with a posse. And we'll get you off of this land if we have to drag you off feet first.
I kill anybody who's gonna take this land away from me. This is for Peter and Anna.
Come on!
What in the name of...
I give you fair warning. Get off my property.
It's Dutch Charlie. He's fixed himself a fort on wheels.
Darn fool. All he's fixed is a rolling coffin if he doesn't listen to reason.
Maybe you don't understand my English so good. Clear out, or I start shooting.
Now, see here, Charlie. Come on out of there. If you don't, we'll blast you out.
I warned you. With talking, I'm finished.
Let's get out of here.
You come back, I shoot straighter. Ho! 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 Ho!
What'd we run for? There's only one of him, plenty of us.
That one of him in that fort could hold off a regiment. Besides, we didn't come here to kill him, just to evict him.
A little taste of dynamite would evict him right out of that fort and off of this property.
Mr. Shannon, you got a court order, and I'm carrying it out. But I ain't aiming to shed any blood. Mine or anybody else's.
Hey, he's turning back.
Well, as long as he knows we're here, he'll stay inside there, and that's just where I want him. Well, sooner or later, he'll run out of ammunition or water. He'll have to come out. Okay, rest yourselves and your horses.
And the more water I drink, the more parched I feel.
Yeah, it's hotter than blazes now. Come nightfall, we'll be chilled to the marrow.
I'll be hanged if I'll broil and freeze for that old desert rat. Now, here, Sheriff. We're all getting petrified sitting around here like bumps on a log.
I'll warrant Dutch is even more petrified.
If I can get to that supply shack without being noticed, I'll put an end to all this nonsense, but fast.
None of the posse are looking your way. What good getting to the shack do us?
An old prospector like Charlie's bound to have a couple of sticks of dynamite stashed away someplace.
into pieces! That fool Charlie's after Mr. Shannon!
Yeah, that ought to hold you till we get you to jail.
Jail. Mr. Shannon steals my life, and you take me to jail.
Nobody stole anything from you, Charlie. This land legally belongs to Great West. They've got men exploring for salt all over the country all the time, buying and leasing everywhere.
They never operated this land before. Didn't even have a marker.
They'd have got around to operating it when they were ready. They just never figured on you beating them to it.
Yeah.
Don't you worry, Charlie. I'll have your stuff hauled to wherever you want it.
Mr. Shannon says I shouldn't worry. With my own hands, I built every piece of it. The furniture, the house, a place for my son and daughter.
Oh, cut it out, Charlie. Let's go.
I wish you luck, Mr. Shannon.
Charlie! Well, looks like Mr. Bellingham and me missed the best part of this chivalry.
Mr. Bellingham,
What's going on here, Shannon?
This squatter tried to steal our property.
Well, now, steal's a hard word, Shannon.
Oh? Well, what would you call digging up our salt and then selling it to us?
Well, it's an honest mistake, but not as big a mistake as accepting a dinner invitation from you.
Yeah. Leo told me you'd have made your own grandmother pay. I should have listened to you.
Well, the harm was already done, Charlie. You see, after you left, I checked with the land office, and I found out this place already belonged to Great West. So I went to San Francisco to explain things to Mr. Bellingham.
Oh, I'm sorry I caused you trouble. I guess I am a big fool. I belong in jail.
Mr. Cohen, Great West doesn't approve of Shannon's high-handed action. We're not going to press any charges.
What's the difference? I got nothing left anyhow.
Well, you hard-headed, good-for-nothing Dutchman, you got plenty left. You got 2 good arms, you've got a strong back, you've got this whole wide world to work in and live, and you got 2 beautiful kids who'll be here any day now.
But I have nothing to give them. Not even a roof over their heads.
You can supply that. The Great West Salt Company has some land near Cane Springs, which we're never going to work. It isn't worth much. But I'm certain I can get the company to turn it over to you to compensate for this house you built.
It's not a bad parcel of land, Charlie. With the water from Cane Springs, you could farm it.
And as for that roof over your head, the company can't build you a house, but nobody can stop me from personally advancing you some cash of my own.
And whatever supplies you need, your credit's still good at my store.
Yeah. You betcha. Fine.
Where are you going?
Johanna, my bicycle. She's busted up. I gotta put her together again. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
That hard-headed Dutchman. There's no stopping him.
There was no stopping Dutch Charlie Cohen. He turned that land of his into a successful goat farm. Then a couple of years later, he made a gold strike right in the middle of his farm. He became one of the legends of Kern County. Years later, General Patton's crack Sherman tank corps trained in the desert. Perhaps their caterpillar tracks crossed the thin bicycle marks of their predecessor. Dutch Charlie Cohen's one-man tank. And now, Death Valley Days. Howdy, folks. I'm the Old Ranger, and I have another interesting true story for you about the historic Death Valley country. In Roswell, New Mexico, some years ago, I became acquainted with a charming lady by the name of Elizabeth Garrett. It was she who gave me the facts of the story you're about to hear. Although blind since childhood, Miss Garrett was a successful musician and teacher, beloved through New Mexico as the writer of both words and music of "O Fair New Mexico," their state song. Elizabeth Garrett was the daughter of Pat Garrett, famous as the man who killed Billy the Kid. Now, the story of Billy the Kid is a familiar one. I'm now going to tell you Pat Garrett's side of it. Patrick Floyd Garrett, former buffalo hunter and cowpuncher, now running a store at Fort Sumner. William Bonney, 19 years old, with 9 murders already on his soul. Around old Fort Sumner, where they first met early in 1878, folks call him the long and the short of it. Pat excelled with a rifle. Billy the Kid with the 6-shooter. Watch this now.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The Kid's next target was not a bottle or a hat, but the badge on the breast of James A. Brady, the sheriff of Lincoln County, against whom he held a grudge. Brady was killed wantonly, like most of this young hoodlum's victims. But this time, the shots from a 6-shooter echoed 2,000 miles away, to the nation's capital at Washington. Alarmed at the reports of bloodshed and lawlessness in New Mexico, President Rutherford B. Hayes appointed a new territorial governor for New Mexico, General Lew Wallace, with orders to bring an end to the situation and establish peace and order. One of the governor's first acts was to arrange a meeting with Billy the Kid. It took place in the county seat of Lincoln, just up the road from where Billy had murdered Sheriff Brady.
So you're Billy the Kid?
I am.
Thank you for coming. Sit down. How old are you, Billy?
19.
And I'm 51. So I'm going to talk to you as if you were my son. The President of the United States has sent me out here to New Mexico to put an end to all this bloody feuding that's ruining the territory. I've issued a proclamation of amnesty to all those who've taken part in it, on the understanding that they lay down their arms. The offer goes for you too, Billy.
Lay down these? My life wouldn't be worth a nickel. There are men in every building along that street, Governor, just itching to kill me.
Then move to some other country where you're not known. Make a fresh start.
I happen to like it here.
You're only 19, Billy.
Do you know how many notches are on my gun?
Still not too late. Surrender yourself.
Me? Surrender?
Yes. And stand trial for whatever charges may be brought against you. If you're acquitted, that will wipe the slate clean. If you're convicted...
You know blamed well I would be.
Then I give you my promise as governor that I will pardon you and set you free.
That's my offer, Billy.
Sorry, Governor, it's no use.
You prefer to be an outlaw.
I guess that's about the size of it. The new sheriff. He's afraid of me. He needn't be. I wouldn't waste a bullet on his carcass.
One of these days, Billy, Lincoln County will have a sheriff of whom you're afraid. When the time comes, just remember, you had your chance. I appreciate your coming up here to Santa Fe, Mr. Chisholm. Cigar?
No, thank you. I think I can guess what's on your mind, Governor. Billy the Kid.
Yes. You sit down.
Thank you.
I've been governor for nearly 2 years now.
And you've done an excellent job, sir. The Lincoln County War is a thing of the past.
But there's no real peace in the territory. Settlers won't come out here. Billy's got a whole gang operating now.
As tough a bunch of cattle thieves as I've ever run up against.
Your herds have suffered?
Sure. In spite of the fact the Kid and I were once friends. When I accused him of stealing my cattle, he threatened my life. He meant it, too. He'd kill me at the drop of a hat if it pleased him. He has absolutely no conscience.
What's the answer, Chisholm? This can't go on.
There's an election coming up in Lincoln County. Put a sheriff in office that'll get the Kid.
Do you have anyone in mind?
Yes, I have. Pat Garrett.
What makes you think he'd do what no one else has been able to do?
Because he's smart. He's got guts. He's got, I guess you'd call it character. And he loves New Mexico.
Fighter?
Oh, I don't suppose Pat Garrett's ever killed a man in his life. But you give him a job to do, he'll follow to the end of the trail. No matter what it costs him.
Get Pat Garrett elected.
First, I'll have to persuade him to run. I'm laying all the cards on the table, Pat. Your sole job as sheriff will be to wipe out Billy the Kid.
Kid and I were pretty friendly at one time, Chisholm.
Same with me. This goes beyond personal considerations. This involves the whole future of New Mexico. We're going to attract settlers to this country, the kind that'll make it grow and prosper. We got to get rid of this killer.
How do I know I'd be elected?
We'll take care of that. Every cattleman in the county will back you. The Kid killed another man last week. The Indian agent at the Mescalero Reservation. He laughed it off. He said this shooting didn't count.
I'll run for sheriff.
Howdy, Pat.
Hello, Billy. I've been wanting to meet you, Billy. Make something plain. I'm elected, you know what's going to happen.
Sure. They'll pin a badge on you.
I'll be out to get you.
Dead or alive, huh?
Alive, if possible, so that you can be brought to trial.
Nobody'll ever put handcuffs on me, Pat.
I'm just giving you notice. I pledged my word to the voters of this county to put an end to lawlessness. And that means you.
You and me have held shooting matches before, Pat. How about another? Right now.
I'm not sheriff yet.
That badge will be right there. Or would you rather get the bullet where Brady got his? I'm warning you, Pat Garrett. You go after me and I'll blast you off the face of the earth.
Adios, Billy.
Call on me for any assistance you may need, Sheriff.
Thank you, Governor.
Cattlemen's Association will furnish you with a posse. All of them experts at tracking men.
I aim to get him before the year's out.
Lincoln County covers nearly 40,000 square miles.
I know the kid's haunts. And he's threatened to make me the next notch on his gun.
The 18th, that would be.
The 19th. He just killed another man.
Where?
Who? Fort Sumner. A total stranger. Just to win a bet of $25.
Good luck, Sheriff.
Here for the night.
Heck of a place to spend Christmas. No grub, no fire.
Would you prefer Fort Sumner with Pat Garrett and his posse?
Wilcox Ranch. Picked up fresh horses. Wilcox said they headed north towards Stinking Spring. Well, there's an old stone hut there. Used to be used by sheep herders. Chances are they're taking cover there. If we push, we can make it by daylight. They're still asleep. Jim, you and Lee stay with me. We'll cover the front of the house. That door's the only entrance. There's not a window anywhere. The rest of you boys, post yourselves around the sides and the back.
We've got you covered, Charlie. Put up your hands. Billy! Billy! They got me, Billy!
Don't come in here to die. Get out there and get one of them first!
I wish.
And Billy the Kid was supposed to be your friend. We've got to cut their horses loose. Stay where you are. Nice shooting, Pat. We've got you cornered, Billy. You might as well give yourselves up.
You go to blazes, Pat.
You try to make a dash for it, and we'll kill you all as fast as you come out that door.
We still got some tricks up our sleeves.
I'm willing to wait. folks carrying that smell in just the right direction.
You think it'll fetch them?
They've had nothing to eat since breakfast yesterday. What'd I tell you?
Hey, Pat, how about some coffee?
Come and get it! But come with your hands up, Billy.
Give me your word you won't shoot into us as we come out.
That's a promise.
All right. We'll surrender.
I gave my word.
Some pumpkins, ain't you, Pat? He's captured the greatest desperado in the Southwest. 19 notches on his gun.
Suppose you do your boasting to the judge, Billy, and you come up for trial.
William Bonney, you have been tried and found guilty. It is the order of this court that you be taken to Lincoln and there confined in jail until May 13th. And on that day, between the hours of sunrise and noon, you will be hanged by the neck until you are dead, dead, dead. And may God have mercy on your soul.
The jail? Nah. Pat Garrett wouldn't trust the kid in anything so rickety. He's got him up in the second story of the courthouse with handcuffs and leg irons. And 2 deputies guarding him night and day until May 13th. That ain't so far off now.
Where's the other deputy?
Ollinger? He went over to the restaurant to put on the feed bag. Looks as innocent as a schoolboy, don't he? Lying there asleep.
We're glad when this whole thing's done with. I'm riding over to White Oaks this morning to see about some lumber.
For the gallows?
Yeah. I'll be back tomorrow the next day. Meanwhile, don't you and Ollinger relax your guard for an instant.
Don't worry, Pat. If he so much as tosses in his sleep, one of us will be ready for him.
Just remember, behind that smile of his is murder.
How about a game of money to pass the time?
I'm willing.
Your turn to deal today. I'll buck the game.
Help yourself to some chips.
On the deuce and 5 on the 8 spot.
Your system ain't working today, kid.
Game's not over yet. I ain't licked until I've thrown in my last chip. Deal another layout. Here's where I go the limit. Sorry, Bill. It's kind of clumsy playing with handcuffs on.
That's all right, kid. I'll get it for you. What's the devil?
Now do as I tell you and be quick about it. One false move, mister, and you're a dead man. Now get up and turn and walk out that door. I'm gonna lock you in the gun closet while I get away. Move! Now there's just one more thing to do. Get Pat Garrett.
There never was an escape like it. He got downstairs and held a gun at the blacksmith's head and ordered him to strike his irons. Then stole a horse and rode away.
That was 2 months ago, Pat.
Yes.
And not a trace of him since.
No, not a trace, Governor.
He's got to be somewhere. Even Billy the Kid can't evaporate into thin air.
I've got a dozen posses combing the territory. I hired Apaches to track him down. They're better than bloodhounds, you know that.
With no luck.
No. They lost the trail after 3 days. Chances are he slipped across the border into old Mexico.
Or he'd be safe. You didn't want to see the kid hang in the first place. You liked him.
What are you accusing me of, Chisholm?
Gentlemen. I'm sorry, Pat.
The eyes of the whole nation are on New Mexico, Sheriff. Billy the Kid's got to be found.
Well, he'll never be taken alive, I can tell you that. He's desperate now. And if our trails cross, it's either him or me.
Did you say if?
I'm heading over to Fort Sumner with a couple of deputies. It's rumored he has a sweetheart there.
You are crazy, Billy, to come into Fort Sumner.
Crazy? Yes, about you, Carita.
Even your old friends are now afraid to harbor you.
I've still a few left. The Gutierrez.
Get out of the country, Billy. Across the border into Mexico. Before Pat Garrett catches up with you.
Pat Garrett. You see this gun, Carita?
Put it away. It frightens me.
21 notches. And right here, room for another. With Pat Garrett's name on it.
Billy? Chiquito, for the love of heaven. Promise me you will leave.
I promise. First thing tomorrow morning.
Tonight!
I've got to catch a few hours sleep and some grub.
You had nothing to eat.
I'll slip over to Gutierrez. They'll feed me. Even though it's late at night. Senor Gutierrez, while you're making the coffee, I'm going to slip over to Pete Maxwell's and cut myself a steak off that side of beef on his porch.
I'm going to stop in here at Pete Maxwell's and see if he knows anything.
He'd be likely to?
Well, Pete's the big rod in these parts. I worked for him when I first came to Fort Sumner.
House is dark.
I know where he sleeps.
That someone on the porch?
Nah. That's the side of beef. You boys stay here. Keep in the shadows.
The killer is dead.
And that's the true story as told to me by his daughter Elizabeth of Pat Garrett's role in bringing an end to the mad killings of Billy the Kid. And now, Death Valley Days. Howdy, folks. I'm the Old Ranger, and I have another interesting true story for you about the historic Death Valley country. The old fairy tales always end, and so they were married and lived happily ever after. But this is a tale about real people. The wedding is only the beginning. How they lived after is the interesting, the important part of the story I call Pay Dirt. June 1882. The bells are pealing in old Southbury Church for Mac and Norma Gordon. And here they come.
Good luck. Good work.
Oh, Mac, look to the west. Even the sky is gold.
It's a lucky omen. The golden west waiting for us. My darling.
Whoa!
Welcome home, Mrs. Gordon.
So this is the end of the rainbow.
I thought you were going to say the end of the honeymoon.
Oh, darling.
I know it's a pretty forlorn apology for a house after what you've been used to.
I love it. It makes me think of that song. You know, in the little old sod shanty on my claim.
All we need now is the claim.
Oh, you'll locate one in no time at all. Why, you're bound to, all that gold lying around out there.
That's my wife. Norma, you're wonderful. I don't know of many girls with your background who would come out here pioneering.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I'm never going to look like a pioneer.
You couldn't look weather-beaten.
And no straggly hair, no rough hands. This desert's not going to get me.
You bet it's not. We're going to lick the desert.
I'll have a beer, please.
Coming right up.
How much?
2 bits. Thank you.
Spot the fellow who just ordered the suds.
A Johnny come lately.
Green as grass after a spring rain.
You're getting poetic, partner.
Always affects me that way when I see a new prospect.
You want to make a play for him?
Worth a try.
Then you best move right in. He looks like a one-drink guy to me.
Stranger. This yours?
Well, why, yes.
You dropped it back there.
I don't know how it could have happened, but I'm eternally grateful to you.
Oh, I'm glad I picked it up instead of a crook.
That would have been a bad beginning for me to lose my bankroll.
Well, one thing about out here, man can clean up fast.
How? I'm interested.
Oh, any number of ways.
Gambling?
No, that's for sharpies. I mean, like striking pay dirt.
Well, that doesn't happen overnight.
Or investing in a claim that's already been located.
Takes a lot of money for that, doesn't it?
Not necessarily. I picked up land for a few thousand and sold it for 100,000. And parted with some for next to nothing. Like a sucker.
I take it you're a mining promoter.
You flatter me, stranger. I'm just a hard rock miner. My partner's a real businessman. Say, how would you like to meet him sometime? He might be able to stay on to something.
Well, is he here in Bodie?
I'm going to meet him at the Timberline restaurant. You like pork and beans?
I'm from Boston.
Well, come along.
Mac. Darling, my hair.
Sweetheart, I think I made a strike.
In those clothes?
What would you say, Mrs. Gordon, if your husband were to tell you he had a chance to acquire a rich mine?
Well, have you?
Right from out of the blue. If I hadn't dropped my wallet on the street...
Mac! Oh, no.
Come on, I'll tell you about it. The government land agent was out to lunch when I got to Bodie. So I decided to kill a little time, and I went to a saloon and I had a beer. Then I went out and I took a walk, and afterwards I came back and I saw the assay report on the ore samples. I knew this was the mine for us. I'm prepared to invest all my savings in it.
After you examine the land.
Ground is what it's called in mining. Of course I shall examine it thoroughly.
Aren't you glad now you took geology at Harvard?
As yet, I still don't know what kind of a price they have in mind.
Mac, I'd like to contribute what I have. The money Papa gave me.
No, I'd rather not touch that.
But what better use could it be put to than, well, the backlog of our future? Dearest, please. It'd make me feel like a real partner.
You look at them like that, and they'll give you the whole shebang.
Are they that soft?
No. They're rough diamonds. Well, if I do accept your offer, that would mean $5,000 to trade with.
Oh, Mac, I can hardly wait.
Do you know what I'm going to call it if we buy it? The Norma Mine. Well, gentlemen, what's your proposition?
Our idea is to cut you in for 1/3.
I want sole ownership.
I don't know as we're prepared for that.
All or nothing.
How much you willing to pay?
What are you asking?
Now, there's a Yankee horse trader for you. $5,000.
4,000.
Hey, what do you take us for?
I've been inquiring around as to mining values.
4,800.
It's too high. This ground has to be developed from scratch.
46.
45.
Hey, you chiseler.
It's a deal. And you got yourself a bargain.
Just like taking candy from a kid.
I've been inquiring into mining values.
This ground will have to be developed from scratch. He don't know how much scratching he's in for. Them lily-white hands of his will be plumb blistered.
$2,250 apiece. To Mac Gordon and all the other suckers.
There's one born every minute.
And we still have $500 left.
Not quite. I had to buy these tools, don't forget.
Oh, that's a capital investment. You see, I know something about business, too. Maybe I could keep the books, Mac.
Why not?
I'll buy a ledger tomorrow. You know what I'd love?
Me.
I said what, silly, not who.
Oh, what then?
Some jewelry. A brooch, perhaps, made of the gold from our mine.
Brooch, nothing. We're going to have a whole gold service for our table.
Is it rich?
High grade is the term. That's for the assayer to decide. The samples were no good.
They showed traces of gold.
Only a trace after all that backbreaking work?
I can only report what I find, sir.
I'm not doubting your word. I'm just disappointed, that's all. How much?
$5.
Assay, $5. Another $5 gone to glory. How much do we have left? Where's the ledger?
Do stop pacing, Mac. It makes me nervous.
Where's the ledger?
Supper's almost ready.
Where is the ledger? What's this entry? $20.
Oh, something I sent away for.
You sent away for something that cost $20 at a time like this?
It's a present for the house.
What kind of a present?
Mac, I want it to be a surprise.
It is all right. A nasty one. Norma, do you realize we have only a few $100s left between us and nil?
Stop using Latin words.
We're going rapidly broke and you squander $20 on a trinket.
It's not a trinket. It's something useful.
Well, whatever it is, it's going back. Norma, I thought you had more sense than to waste what little money we've got left.
Waste? If you knew how hard I scrimped and saved, eked out our food, pinched pennies.
Is that it?
I wanted something cheerful.
A cuckoo clock.
I'm sorry, Mac.
We're all cuckoo. Oh, the hinges are of leather and the windows have no glass.
And the board roof lets the howling blizzard in. And I hear the hungry coyote as he slinks up through the grass. Round my little old sod shanty on my claim.
Whoa.
Howdy.
Well, how do you do?
So you're our new neighbor.
Well, not very new. We've lived here for over 6 months.
Well, in the desert, anything less than a year is new. I'm Aaron Brinkle. Me and my wife have a claim next valley over.
Oh, well, I'm Mrs. Gordon.
Say, I'm going into town. Anything I can fetch you?
Thank you. Not a thing.
Well, now, if you ever do need anything fetched or carried, you just let me know.
I will. Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Say, I'll bring the wife over for a visit sometime.
Oh, that would be nice.
Get up.
I don't understand it. There must be some mistake.
My figures don't lie, Mr. Gordon.
The original assay showed high-grade ore.
I didn't make this report.
I didn't say you did. I'm just saying that some assayer who knew his business found rich values on my claim.
Then go back to him.
I shall.
If you can find him. $5, please.
These assayers. I can't trust any of them.
It's not the assayer's fault because the samples were no good.
I suppose I'm to blame.
Yes, I think you are.
What do you mean?
You should have investigated more thoroughly. And you went ahead and threw my money into it, too.
You offered it to me. You begged me to take it.
That money was to have been a nest egg for me. Papa always said a married woman should have some money of her own.
Oh, hang your father.
Don't talk about my father like that. My father's a very fine businessman.
I suppose I'm not. Who was it saved us $500 on that deal?
You got stung.
Who was it squandered $20 on a silly little cuckoo clock?
I like that clock.
Shut up. I said, shut up!
Mac! $10, $20, $30, $40, $50, $51, $25, $35, $40, $51.44 apiece.
Darling! Norma! Norma! Sweetheart!
Mac, I'm going away. Don't try to follow me.
Would you gentlemen like some more coffee?
No, thanks. How long have you been working here, girlie?
Oh, I just started today.
Thought I hadn't seen you before, but I'll be seeing you again.
You pay the cashier.
That's for you, Chickie, with love and kisses.
Likewise.
Well, I'll get you a bill of fare, sir.
Who's your gentleman friend?
Oh, I don't know his name. All I know is he came from the East.
Oh, a Johnny come lately. Maybe it's the light, but does it strike you, partner, that he looks rather, greenish?
Yeah. You mean sick?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he was coming down with something.
Maybe he's facing an operation, removing some of his vitals. Let's mosey over and see what we can do him for. I mean, do for him.
The vein runs from north to south, like from this salt cellar to this salt cellar.
Richest vein I ever saw.
Should run at least $300 a ton.
Thank you very much. When you said that gold ran from one salt cellar to the next, I like to busted a button. Salt. Girlie, you're getting a 5-spot for a tip today.
Well, thank you, sir.
If you was a drinking gal, we'd take you along with us to help celebrate.
Oh, what's the occasion?
We just made a deal to sell a piece of mining property to that fella.
So quickly?
Well, if you don't grab a sucker fast, you don't grab him at all.
Was he a sucker?
Like all the dudes that come out here from the East. Rig up an assay report, show them a map, and they're right in your lap. Remember the young fella came out here last summer from Boston? We offered him a share of a mine.
But would he take it? No, sir. He wanted the whole thing. I insist upon sole ownership.
Well, that sounds like Mac Gordon.
You know Mac Gordon?
So you rooked him, too.
To the tune of $4,500.
And you sit there and boast about it.
Oh, now, girly.
Keep your hands off of me. And don't call me girly.
What shall I call you, Spitfire?
You can call me Mrs. Mac Gordon.
Mrs. Mac Gordon?
I'm going to report you to the sheriff for what you've done. You'll be arrested, forced to make restitution.
Calm down, ma'am.
Calm down. When we've been duped of all our savings. When my husband's practically killed himself for months working a worthless claim.
That's his hard luck.
I hope they tar and feather you. Run you out of town on a rail.
There ain't a thing they can do to us, ma'am. Your husband bought the claim with his eyes wide open.
He trusted you.
Well, this'll learn him.
Oh, darling, you're back.
Oh, I missed you so.
It was all my fault.
No, darling.
But everything's going to be all right.
But it isn't.
What do you mean?
Mac, I found out we've been taken. The men who sold you the claim.
Daly and Syke?
Oh, they salted it. There was no gold there except what they put there. That's why the essays turned out badly.
Where did you learn this?
Well, they admitted it themselves. And the worst part of it is there's no way we can get back at them.
I guess you're right. It's the old story. Let the buyer beware.
Oh, I don't blame you, darling. And please forgive the horrid things I said.
The funny thing is, I'd begun to have new faith in the claim. I struck what looked like real pay dirt the other day. Look, you can see the gold in it.
Oh, they're clever, those two.
Just to satisfy my own curiosity, I'm going to have these samples assayed.
And waste another $5? Oh, it's up to you, of course, darling.
If the reports turn out like all the others, I'm through. We'll pull up stakes and get out of here.
Well, if it ain't Mr. Gordon. Howdy.
How's everything with you?
You should know.
Working hard, making money?
Look, if you gentlemen came here to gloat...
No, we came here to have an assay made. Where's the fella?
He's making an assay for me.
From the, what did you name your mine?
The Norma.
After your wife.
Yes.
And a mighty cute trick she is, too.
Let's leave my wife out of this.
Oh, no need to be jealous. She behaved herself in Bodie.
I said leave her out of this.
Never permitted no liberties to speak of.
What's going on here? Hey, break it up. There's no place to hide. This is the sale office.
He started it.
They
started it. Sold me a phony claim. Bled me white.
No, you don't. Not here.
We'll finish this outside.
That suits me.
And get killed just when you struck it rich?
What? What did you say?
Here's the report on those samples that you left me.
$125 a ton.
From the Norma?
From the Norma. Put there by the Almighty.
I don't know what's come over this town. A man can't make a living here no more.
Look at this picture.
The steam yacht Norma, owned by Macaulay Gordon of Nob Hill, who's mined by the same name as one of the biggest producers in the state.
There's one born every minute.
They say the first 100 years are the hardest, darling.
Well, we've come through this one with flying colors.
Here's to the next 99.
Together.
Now I'll wind up like the old fairy tales, and they lived happily ever after. You know, of course, which pair I'm referring to.
আমার সুবিধার লোক মনে হইতেছে না কি কইতেছেন আপনি কি কইতেছেন গায়ে হাত দিবেন কেন গায়ে দিও মানে এ বড় গায়ে হাত দিলে কি করবে একদম গায়ে হাত করতেছেন তুই গায়ে দিলে তুই আমি আজকে শেষ করব তুই টাকা দে আমার টাকা দে ওরে আজকে বই
না কোন রাস্তার মধ্যে আইছেন ভাই
এই এই আপনি কারে করছেন হ্যাঁ আরে ভাই আপনারে কই নাই আমার কল দিছিলাম এই কল রিসিভ করতেছেন ওরে কইছি আমারে কোন মানে এই আপনি নামেন তো নামেন আমি যাব না আপনি কি কইতেছেন হ্যাঁ আপনি যাবেন না কেন না আমি যাব না আপনি আপনি নামেন আমার টাকা দেন আমি যাইগা দেমু না টাকা আমারে না নিয়ে গেলে আমি ভাড়া দেবো না আরে আপনি কখন থেকে এই অলি করতেছেন আপনার আমার সুবিধার লোক মনে হইতেছে না একদমই সুবিধার লোক মনে হইতেছে না আপনি টাকা দেন আমি জায়গা আমার সুবিধার লোক মনে হইতেছে না কি কইতেছেন আপনি কি কইতেছেন গায়ে হাত দিবেন কেন গায়ে দিও মানে এ বড় গায়ে দিলে কি করবে একদম গায়ে করতেছেন তুই গায়ে তুই আমি আজকে শেষ করব তুই টাকা দে আমার টাকা দে ওরে আজকে বই মোটরসাইকেল করে নিয়ে যেতেছেন ভাই এটা আমার মালিকের মোটরসাইকেল ভাই মোটরসাইকেল নিয়ে যান না
গাড়ি থামলো কেন
স্যার একটা অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট হয়েছে
ভাই ভাই আমার একটু বাঁচান
স্যার
ভাই
পেটে তো ছুরি
মনে হচ্ছে চিন্তা কি
স্যার হসপিটালে নিয়ে যাব
আরে পাগল হইছো এত রাতে থানা পুলিশের ঝামেলা কে যাবে চালাও গাড়ি
স্যার কি অবস্থা মনে হয় না বাবু
ভাই যাই না ভাই ও ভাই আমার একটু হসপিটাল
আচ্ছা আপনি ওই দিন আপনার আম্মার সামনে আমার লগে এরকম ব্যবহার করছেন কেন
আমার ইচ্ছা হয়েছে আমি করছি আর আমার পিছে ঘুরে লাভ নাই
কেন আমি আপনার ভালোবাসি না করবো না কেন
বেহায়া মেয়ে রে বাবা তোমার তো আমি ক্লিয়ার করে বলছি যে আমি তোমার বিয়ে করব না
আরে আপনার আম্মাই তো আমার পছন্দ করছে তো আপনি শাদি করবেন না কেন
তাহলে তারই বিয়েটা করো
জি 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 আস্তাগফিরুল্লাহ কি কইতাছেন আমি আপনার আম্মারে কেন শাদি করব তো আপনারা শাদি করুন আর আপনি যদি আমার শাদি না করছেন তাহলে কয়ে দিলাম ব্লেড দিয়ে আপনার নাম আমার হাতে লিখুন
তোমার যা ইচ্ছা তুমি তাই করো আমি একদমই ভয় পাই না আগেরবার মাইনে নিছি খেলা ছিল দেখা এটা খেলা না এটা আমার জীবন আমি জীবন নিয়ে ছেলে খেলা করতে পারবো না
আমি হাঁচা হাঁচা কইতাছি আমি কিন্তু ব্লেড দিয়ে
হাতে পায়ে গলায় মুখে সব জায়গায় যেখানে ইচ্ছা সেখানে লেখো ইংরেজি বাংলা ফার্সি যেটাতে পারো সেটাতেই লেখো আমার কিচ্ছু যায় আসে না
আপনার আমি শেষবারের মতো কইতাছি আপনার আর বেশি সময় দিব না শুধুমাত্র 12 ঘন্টা সময় দিলাম এই 12 ঘন্টার মধ্যে আপনি আপনার মত বদলাইবেন নাহলে কইলাম আমি হাঁচায় ব্লেড দিয়ে আপনার নাম লিখে ফেলাম আমার কেউ আটকাইতে পারবো না
বসে তুমি সিগারেট টানো, বুঝো নাই শান্তিতে, আর ওদিক দিয়ে কাম সারছে।
দেন কি হইছে?
আরে শুনোস না, ওই মেয়ে তো ডেঞ্জারাস একটা ঘটনা ঘটায় ফেলছে। লেট দিয়ে হাত কাটছে, এখন কি হইব মামা?
ওই মেয়েটা
বস কি মামা? কস হাত
কেন? ওই মেয়ের তোর কোনো কথা হয়েছিল?
কালকে রাত্রেবেলা বাসার সামনে এসে দাঁড়ায় ছিল, আমার 12 ঘন্টার আলটিমেটাম দিছে।
এই কিসের আলটিমেটাম দিছে রে? হ্যাঁ
আরে ওই বিয়াতে রাজি না হইলে কি জানি।
এই কথা তুই আগে কবি না।
আরে আমি কি বুঝছি নাকি?
আরে না বাবার কি আছে, বুঝোস না, মেয়েটা তো ডেঞ্জারাস। এখন যদি কিছু হয়ে যায় মামা, আমাকে তো পুলিশে ধরে নিয়ে যাবে।
আমি কি করছি?
ও আমি কি করছি কিছু জানো না? না ওই বেটা আইনার মারফত জানো, জীবনে তো থানায় তুই যাস্তে জানবি কেন? তা না আমি গেছি জানি। ফোন যে কোনো হলে আত্মহত্যা প্ররোচনকারী যেই হোক না কেন, তার নাম যদি একবার থানায় গিয়ে কয় মামা, তাহলে তার খবর আছে। এখন তুই কি করবি তুই চিন্তা করে দেখ।
কি করছে সব? এই লাইলি বাইচা আছে তো?
হ্যাঁ শুনলাম, ও তো বাইচা আছে।
কোন হসপিটাল আছে? কো আমি যাই একটু দেখা করে আসি।
হসপিটালে যাই দেখা করে, হসপিটাল থাকলে তখন তুমি চৈতশিকার ভিতরে থাকলা, বুঝো নাই? আর তুমি যাই হয়তো বাসায় আছে। এই তুই কি ওর বাসায় যাবি?
তুই যাবি মামা?
হায় রে খোদা, তুমি আইছো। আমি জানতাম তুমি আইবা। আমি লাইলিরে কইছি তুমি আসবা। চ্যাংরা হও আর রক্ত গরম হও, মানুষ তো। তোমার মনের ভিতরে সেই প্রেমটা আছে।
আচ্ছা আমি লাইলির সাথে একটু দেখা করবো।
লাইলির সাথে দেখা করবা?
কেমন আছে ও?
আছে বাবা, আসো আসো, তোমার আমি একটু দেখা করে আসো।
এইসব কি?
প্লেট দিয়ে তোমার নাম লিখছি, বানান ঠিক আছে?
একদম ঠিক আছে। কিন্তু কি বলো বাইক না, ভালো হয়েছে না? আমি কিন্তু লাইলিতে কইছিলাম যে লাইলি ছবি তুইলা ওরা পাঠাই দে। ওই কইছে যে না, কিছু জিনিস আছে এগুলো ছবি তুলে পাঠালে সঠিকভাবে দেখা যায় না, সামনাসামনি দেখতে হয়। এর লেগে তো এতক্ষণ ধরে তোমার জন্য অপেক্ষা করতেছি।
এইসব পাগলামির কোনো মানে আছে?
আছে না। তোমার আমি শাদি করব, তুমি আমার শাদি করবা, করবা না?
এই তুমি কি আমার বলদ পাইছো? বলদ এই পাশে দাঁড়ানো লোকটার মতো।
নিলে তুমি আমার মামার নিয়ে কি করতেছো?
আমি বলবো তুমি শুনবা। মানে এই যদি তোমার হাত কাটার নমুনা হয়, হ্যাঁ আমি জানলে আমি জীবনেও আসতাম না। আর যদি হাত সত্যি সত্যি কাটতাও তাও আসতাম না, কোনো লাভই হতো না। আমি তোমারে বিয়ে করব না। তোমার মতো মেয়ের সাথে শুধুমাত্র মজা নেওয়া যায়, বাড়ির বউ করা যায় না। তোমার মধ্যে ওই রকম কোনো এলিমেন্টই নাই।
তুমি তো বেশি বেশি করতেছো না?
এই মাঝখান দিয়ে ঢুকে গেলেন। হ্যাঁ সাদে কি আপনার মাইনছে হাবলু কয়? এর লেগে আপনার হাবলু কয়। কারণ ঢুকছেন যখন, তখন আমারে না বুঝায় আপনার এই ড্রামাবাজ ভাগ্নিরা বুঝান। আমি ওরে বিয়ে করবো না, আমি মরে গেলে ওরে বিয়ে করবো না। মানে নিজের তো কোনো মান সম্মান নাই, পরিবারের মান সম্মানটা যদি খোয়াইতে না চাও তাহলে এসব বন্ধ করো। সবার সামনে অপমান করবো না।
থাক ভাগ্নি, তুই কষ্ট পাইস না। হয় তোরা বুঝতে পারে নাই, আর যেদিন বুঝতে পারবো ওই কান্দা বুক চাপলাইবো, তখন বুঝবো যে কি জিনিস হারাইছি। তুই কান্দিস না ভাগ্নি, একদম কান্দিস না। তুই থাক, আমি আইতাছি, দেখতেছি।